So why is Donald Trump in such a foul mood? Several Trump associates point to this. Judge orders surprise release of Epstein transcripts. And Donald Trump appears in Epstein document dump.
Donald Trump's name appears again and again and again and again in the new document dump that just took place of the grand jury documents relating to criminal proceedings against Jeffrey Epstein.
As ex-user Malay writes, prior to marrying Melania in January 2005, Trump was calling Jeffrey Epstein in 2004 on the regular. We see Donald's phone messages in the West Palm Beach indictment of Epstein released today. His messages are in between girls calling to confirm massage appointments and messages from disgraced modeling agent Jean-Luc Brunel. What did they talk about? The questions are once again drawing more attention to the Trump friendship with Epstein. Donald Trump began palling around with Jeffrey Epstein in the 1980s. Video footage unearthed by NBC News in 2019 shows the two men joking around and ogling women during a party at Trump's Mar-a-Lago in 1992.
Come on in, go inside.
An invitation into Donald Trump's world. Footage from 1992 found in the NBC archives shows the future president welcoming Jeffrey Epstein to his Mar-a-Lago estate. The get-together more than a decade before Epstein pleaded guilty to prostitution charges in Florida. Both men are seen enjoying themselves, Trump pointing out women dancing in front of them.
In 2002, Donald Trump told New York Magazine, quote, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with." It has even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life. The Trump links to Epstein have also renewed attention to this. From the New York Magazine Intelligencer article, What the Jeffrey Epstein Documents Reveal About Donald Trump. In 2016, a woman who went by the pseudonyms Katie Johnson and Jane Doe in legal filings accused Trump of raping her in 1994 when she was 13 during an orgy held at Epstein's home in Manhattan. She accused Epstein of raping her as well. The case was withdrawn just days before the 2016 election, and the accuser canceled a press conference at the last minute. Her attorney, Lisa Bloom, said the woman had received death threats, and she has decided she is too afraid to show her face. She is in terrible fear. All of this is under the spotlight once again, thanks to the mentions of Donald Trump in the latest Jeffrey Epstein document release. Is this why Donald Trump is so angry these days and lashing out at anybody and everybody? Well, amidst developments in the Jeffrey Epstein case, Trump has blown a gasket before. In January 2024, when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropped out of the presidential race, Trump was complimentary and kind, initially.
One of our opponents, very capable person, is dropping out. Ron DeSantis.
Very capable, said Trump. And then for over a month, Trump stayed silent on DeSantis. But then, at the end of February, Governor DeSantis signs legislation to authorize the release of Jeffrey Epstein grand jury documents.
That law will become effective on July 1st. Finally, the public is going to be able to get answers. And so now we're going to get more facts. And how is it, Sean, when you have so many people involved, you have one person now, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in federal prison. Nobody else has been held accountable since Epstein's death. And I think everybody knows that is not right, and there's no way that nobody else was involved in this criminal activity.
Suddenly, 6 weeks after DeSantis had dropped out of the presidential race, Donald Trump went back to hammering the Florida governor and calling him insulting nicknames.
We hit this guy so hard, by the time he announced, nobody knew what the hell happened. They said, what happened to him? He's a shell of the man.
In Ohio, Donald Trump boasted about crushing former presidential rival Ron DeSantis and compared the Florida governor to terrorists.
So I hit him hard. I hit him low. I hit him high, just like we did to ISIS. We hit him hard.
A week earlier in Georgia, Trump ridiculed DeSantis and his supporters.
You know, people that were with the sanctimonious, they were with other people. Well, I'm not going to use that name anymore. It's not respectful. Let's call him Ron DeSantis.
Again, the nicknames and insulting taunts came 6 weeks after DeSantis had dropped out. But DeSantis had just signed the bill authorizing the release of Epstein investigation documents. And the Epstein-Trump connections have long fueled intrigue and disgust. As conservative Peter Heinlein wrote on X, it was at his, Trump's personal home that Epstein recruited his victims. The most famous of those victims was a child employee of Trump. She worked at the spa at Mar-a-Lago.
All right, so that's in the books. Long time coming.
Also, the Florida prosecutor who gave Jeffrey Epstein a soft sweetheart plea deal in 2008 was Alex Acosta. Acosta was later named by Trump as Secretary of Labor in a cabinet nomination that seemed at the time inexplicable. In 2019, when the FBI and New York police rearrested Epstein on child sex trafficking charges, generating new attention and criticism of the old plea deal, Acosta resigned. The release of previously sealed Epstein grand jury documents is expected to reveal new information about Donald Trump. So the Trump eruptions make sense. Trump went ballistic on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in March. And now that more Epstein documents are being released, Trump is flipping his lid again, hitting out at President Biden, other Democrats, and even media figures. And the irony is that Donald Trump's own advisors keep telling him to tone it down, and that his volatility is taking attention away from what would otherwise be a stretch of good political news for Donald Trump. But as we've seen before, Donald Trump cannot help himself. When he is angry or embarrassed or unable to sleep, he takes to Truth Social and goes wild. And even on a golf course, Trump cannot contain his rage. Perhaps Trump knows that in the Epstein documents still to come, the news will only get worse for Donald Trump. And there are plenty of Epstein grand jury documents still to come. In ordering the first tranche of documents released, Florida Circuit Judge Louis Delgado stated, "The details in the record will be outrageous to decent people," Delgado wrote in his order. "The testimony taken by the grand jury concerns activity ranging from grossly unacceptable to rape. All of the conduct at issue is sexually deviant, disgusting, and criminal." Jeffrey Epstein died in jail while Donald Trump was president. Investigators said Epstein committed suicide. But the association with Epstein still clearly haunts Donald Trump. And with more evidence from the Epstein grand jury investigation being released, Donald Trump is angry and Trump is lashing out.